boxes, don't you?
Money in the fucking bank for 2018. Booked, played out, bet your ass. We're gonna talk about it now. This, my friends, is Tesla, the fact tracker. That's right, Tesla, the fact tracker. We've been through Douglas, we've went through Benson, now this is Tesla. This is a new little board that we're gonna use to tally up the goods, the bads, and the uglies of pay-per-views going forward. And that's what we're gonna do for new subscribers. And I know, since last week, from that CM Punk video that I put up there, guys, we have a couple hundred, that's right, a couple hundred new subscribers to the channel. Welcome to all you crazy-ass amplified motherfuckers. It's good to have you on board, and it's good to have you as part of the amplified unit. So for you newbies out there, how we do this, every single pay-per-view, you stop by the channel. You should be stopping by the channel every day anyway. But after pay-per-views especially, because we're going to do a little thing we like to call the good, the bad, and the ugly, where we go through every match on the main card. And if that match deserves a good tally, it'll go in the good column. If it's a bad, it's going to go in the bad. And if that shit was ugly, that shit's going into the ugly. And if you go into the ugly column, that actually counts as two bads in the final tally. So we got the good, we got the bad. You want to stay out of the ugly, because again, in the final tally, that counts basically as two bads. So that's the shit we do, man, and we have a lot of fun with it, but it's also a way to really take a step back and see if the pay-per-view was actually good or bad, or was it just a fucking hideous, ugly pay-per-view? Now, on the outside looking in as just a fan watching this pay-per-view, I was entertained. To me, we had surprise, we had a swerve, and we had a lot of action and entertainment. And good wrestling as well in there, mixed in. A little bit of everything. So for me, it was good to see an actual pay-per-view be an actual pay-per-view. Because for so long, pay-per-views just looked like B-rated fucking Monday Night Raws or SmackDowns. That's all they were to me. Or an extra Raw, an extra SmackDown. Nothing screamed special event in these pay-per-views. Last night, it felt like a pay-per-view. Now, the writing, the booking, the creativity that goes into these shows, that went into last night, that's a different topic. That I'm not totally on board with or happy. But as a fan just watching this professional wrestling pay-per-view event last night, I was entertained, I liked it. But that doesn't mean it was good. Doesn't mean it was bad, doesn't mean it was ugly until we actually go through it right now and put it where it should be. Now keep in mind, I did not go through this pay-per-view beforehand. I did not tally it in my head. I'm doing this with you guys live right now on this video. So let's kick it off with match number 1. This was Daniel Bryan and Big Cass. They put this match in the very first slot, and I'm okay with that because Daniel Bryan could wrestle a watermelon and get a damn good reaction from that Chicago lit crowd last night. And it was going to be interesting and entertaining. So it was not a watermelon taking on Daniel Bryan. This was Big Cass. And again, it doesn't matter who Bryan was with. This was going to go into the good column because Daniel Bryan kicking off any event is going into the good column. But add on to that Big Cass actually held his own last night. I know we all have kind of mixed feelings so far about Big Cass. Promos definitely need a lot of work, but at least he's keeping with his bullet points and going beyond. But his wrestling and being able to hang in there with guys like Daniel Bryan, what I saw last night, I am impressed with. If Big Cass keeps this up, then he should have no problem with just focusing in on his promos. Then he gets that game. If he can get the promo game in check, Cass could be a legitimate superstar in the future. Last night, I saw leaps and bounds improvements with Cass because he hung with one of the best wrestlers in this world today. And if he gets back on his A game, Daniel Bryan, he's not even there yet, guys. If he gets back on that, he could be the best wrestler in this world. With the other guy that I think is AJ Styles, or a lot of people out there in internet land think Omega is, but Daniel Bryan is definitely in that conversation. Big Cass last night hung with that motherfucker. And it was damn good to see. But it started off with Daniel Bryan coming down to the ring with the yes fucking movement in Chicago. Chicago was lit for that shit. And that match ended with Daniel Bryan tapping out Big Cass and Chicago yesing Daniel Bryan all the way back to the locker room. That's a damn lit way to start off a pay-per-view, especially Money in the Bank. That's definitely going into the good column. And Big Cass tapping out was the best way for him to lose. A pinfall makes him look weak as fuck. But a tap out, I know you're thinking BC, a tap out makes him look weaker. But no, Big Cass is a whiny, complaining 7-foot giant, right? That's his character. He bitches, he moans, he complains. So him tapping out, he can now play with that. Starting on SmackDown this Tuesday, he can actually go out. People will be chanting at him, you tapped out, you tapped out. And Big Cass can now come out with a million excuses. He could be this big crybaby that will tap out if things get too tough for him. He could play up that baby giant character, if you know what I mean. So I like that better than him getting pinned. If he just got pinned flat on his back, 1, 2, 3, to me, a guy like Big Cass, that would make him look weaker. But a guy who just gives up if the going gets tough, but in the back of his mind, and maybe even in the back of our mind, we know, like, if he does put his 110% into it, he will fuck you up. I kind of like that, man. So everything in that match screamed good to me. I like where it was placed with Daniel Bryan really energizing the crowd. Daniel Bryan can do what normally WWE tries to put 2 other guys in that first slot. The first match is usually for 2 guys that can really tear it down, really get the crowd really invested and entertained and really into the pay-per-view or the event. WWE last night just said, Daniel Bryan, you go out there. We don't need 2 people to tear it down like Seth Rollins and Elias. No. Daniel Bryan kick it off, and he did. So that was really good. Lashley and Sami Zayn is what followed that. Now that match, how long do we even have to talk about this? This literally goes right into the bad column because this match, everything that Daniel Bryan built up in the first match, Lashley and Sami Zayn brought down in the second match. This was boring as fuck. I don't know why it was... You know, part of me really would have liked to have seen Gallows and Anderson versus the Bludgeon Brothers in that spot, and Lashley and Sami Zayn go into the kickoff. This is another one of those ringing alarms that shows you Vince McMahon does not listen to his audience, his fan base, because for weeks people have been telling you they're not on board with Sami Zayn Lashley's storyline. So that screams that Chicago is not going to be behind the match. So have the Bludgeon Brothers and Gallows and Anderson go out there for 5 fucking minutes. And it's going to be more entertaining than Sami Zayn and Lashley. But no, Vince McMahon stays with Lashley and Zayn, and it didn't do anything for the crowd. If anything, all the momentum that Daniel Bryan and Big Cass put up in the first match was brought down by Zayn and Lashley. I didn't like the flow of this match. I did not like the chemistry. The crowd was not into it. And Bobby Lashley is a big problem in all this. They don't know how to book him yet. And you can tell that the crowd is not invested into Bobby Lashley. And I gotta admit, I'm not either. I'm giving 0 fucks of a reason why I should give a fuck about Bobby Lashley. Nobody has given me a reason in WWE to let me care about him, to allow me to care about him, to make me care about him. Why should I care about Bobby? What has he done since he's come back? Nothing. I mean, this guy was supposed to be this, MMA fighter, right? I'm not getting that from him. He's a dude with big, huge fucking, right? Big, huge arms. I can fuck you up type character, type fucking persona. I'm not getting that at all, man. They tried to put him in a storyline, which is what we asked for, but it never quite, nobody ever took the bait on it. So Vince has to know that, and that belonged in the pre-show, the kickoff. No, he puts that on the main show right after Daniel Bryan and Cass, which the crowd was at least electrified for Daniel Bryan, and then they're brought back down by Lashley and Zayn. Again, I don't need to talk about this any further. That was bad for me. The third match was the Intercontinental Championship. This was Seth Rollins, the champion, defending against Elias. This match tore it down for me. This was even though Daniel Bryan was a big part of why Daniel Bryan Big Cass was good for me and it electrified the crowd to start off the pay-per-view, this was the match that actually showed you great wrestling between the two participants, man. Elias brought everything that Seth Rollins brought to him, Elias brought back to Seth. Elias was dishing out back to Seth everything Seth was dishing to him. I loved it. Everything you can do, I can do better is what Elias's mindset was last night. I like that. Toe to toe, move for move, Elias was hanging with Seth Rollins. That's the shit I like. Same thing with Daniel Bryan, Big Cass. At least Cass was hanging with Daniel Bryan. Clearly, Daniel Bryan's the better wrestler, but Cass was hanging with him. Cool. No botches, no fuck-ups that a lot of the internet crowd likes to point out. No, not in that match. And then for Elias and Seth Rollins, they hung, man. It was really good to see. That match, again, tore it down for me. Obviously, that's going into the good column. That goes without say. But the ending of this match saved face too, because I don't know how you have to make Elias look strong. He has to save face. I don't think it was the right time to take the strap off of Seth Rollins, though. I said that in my amplified booking video a couple of days ago that I put out, and they didn't. They kept that strap on Seth, and they saved face for Elias. That's good shit, because they actually had Seth Rollins roll up Elias, and I believe Cole even said he had the tights. So this goes, I mean, if that's not saving face for Elias, I don't know what is. That makes Elias look like, hey, I could have had you, and you actually had to cheat. You actually had to pull my tights. And I almost had you 10 different fucking times in that match. But you beat me on a roll-up. You know, if that doesn't scream, I deserve one more opportunity, then I don't know what does, man. Elias looked awesome in that match. And again, I knew these two were going to have that chemistry. I knew these two were going to tear it down. It was just really good to see them actually do that. Again, that goes into the good column, guys, without say. And 3 matches in, that was clearly the match of the night so far. Then we go into the Women's Money in the Bank ladder match. This was Alexa Bliss. This was Lana, Natty, Naomi, Becky Lynch, Charlotte, Sasha Banks, Ember Moon. This match, guys, right from the beginning, they were just going at each other. Everybody was trying to steal the show, which is what I said in that amplified booking video. Everyone needs to go out there and attempt to steal the show. Take risks, take chances, make a name for yourself, make yourself and this match memorable for years to come. And I honestly think they did that. Every lady went out there and they kicked ass, man. Ladders being slung around in people's faces. These women were jumping onto other superstars on top of ladders, climbing those ladders, diving off of ladders. It was really good to see. The ending of the match, the last 5 minutes especially, sloppy as fuck, but they tried to make it intriguing, right, and entertaining and fun. By every second, there seems to be a new woman climbing the ladder, and then somebody else would come out, take them out, and they would both get taken out. Then a new woman would climb the ladder. They would get taken out. Those two would be taken out. Another lady climbs the ladder. This was like nonstop for like 5 minutes straight. So it was a little redundant to me, but in the overall scheme of things, very fucking entertaining. And when you take the first 10 minutes of this match, and you throw in that last 5 to 10 minutes especially, you put it all together with the middle of this match as well. It was an overall damn good match. That goes into the good column, guys. I loved what I saw in this thing. All the ladies went out there to make a name for themselves, and it was a fun match. I'll definitely watch that one again. Now, the end of this match, the winner. This was a curveball. I said in amplified booking, a face should not have the Money in the Bank briefcase, because I've said it a million times. The fans, anytime you show up with that briefcase, the fans are going to want you to cash in every time. So the heel can tease that. A heel can tease a cash in. Whereas a face, if they have the briefcase and the fans are wanting you to cash in and you don't do it every night, then you're going to let the fans down. You're going to disappoint the fans. A face should never be disappointing fans, not on a continuous basis. That's why the briefcase is best suited for a heel. And I said it, in this match, there was only 2 heels, Lana and Alexa. You're not going to put it on Lana, obviously, because that would be worse than putting on Carmella last year. Not that we don't love Carmella, not that we don't love Lana, but are they really the ones? I don't know, man. Even the Carmella Money in the Bank briefcase win was kind of odd for me, and then she went on to hold it for like 9 or 10 months, whatever it was. Do we want to see that with Lana? I think not. So the only other option for a heel was Alexa Bliss, but we just saw Alexa with a whole multi-month title reign, and that got kind of boring. There was a 4-month period where she didn't even defend the championship. Brock Lesnar-esque. So do we really need to see Alexa Bliss capture Money in the Bank briefcase? Because down the road, what? She gets the championship? So I put them out and I said, let's get creative. Let's give this to who rightfully deserves this anyway, Sasha fucking Banks, and then we can finally turn her heel. The best of both worlds. Sasha gets the fucking moment that fucking she's been deserved for fucking years, if you think about it. And then you could turn her heel, so a heel has the briefcase, and it best suits her anyway. And when it was all said and done, you talk about a curveball, Alexa fucking Bliss wins this thing. All of this was to get that onto Alexa fucking Bliss. Everything with the whole title reign, Alexa losing the strap to Nia Jax, was all to put the briefcase onto Alexa. So obviously Alexa in the future is going to win that championship back. All of that was for that? Where does Sasha Banks even come into the... Sasha Banks is the greatest women's female wrestler, in my opinion, of all fucking time, especially right now, up there with Charlotte. And once Ember Moon really starts rocking and rolling on that main roster, then she's fucking going to have a say on that as well. But Sasha Banks proved again in that ladder match. Sasha Banks, nobody in that match was selling like the legit fucking boss. I read a couple of comments from people I know last night that I know for a fact don't like Sasha Banks, and they were going, wow, she really does sell like a champ, though. Because even they saw, even if you hate Sasha, you know she was fucking... I mean, she was stealing the show she was stealing that match. Where does she fit into all of this? I would love to know. Are we going to go back to a Bayley-Sasha feud now? Alexa Bliss gets this shit. Chicago was lit for Becky Lynch. That would have been huge for Becky Lynch. Chicago wanted Becky. I don't know what the fucking connection is with Becky in Chicago. I got to go back and do my research. I apologize. But they fucking love Becky. Nope. Charlotte defeats the undefeated Asuka at WrestleMania. Huge moment. You think she's just going to capture all these huge moments for 2018? Maybe Charlotte captures fucking Money in the Bank. Do you turn her heel then? Same with Becky. I'll take a Becky Lynch heel turn after she cashes that in or retrieves the briefcase. No, they go with fucking Alexa Bliss. I don't need to say any more. That's a bad creative decision for me. And I know, man, Alexa Bliss fan, what? That's bad? That ain't bad. I loved it. That's great. But let's put our fandom aside for a second. How the fuck does A, that make any fucking sense? B, why was all of this for Alexa Bliss of all fucking people to cash or to retrieve that briefcase? We've just seen it. Guys, the reason it goes in the bag, you guys know I like Alexa Bliss. This is no shade. This is no hate. We just fucking saw it. We just fucking saw Alexa Bliss with a multi-month, like a 10-month fucking reign, something like that. She's just been... Nia Jax just took the strap off of her. The same people that are loving this are the same people that go, Sasha had her time. She was champion 4 times, BC. Yeah, but all 4 times equals like what? Not even 2 fucking months? I don't even know if it equals 1 month. All 4 reigns combined, 1 month. Yeah, but still, BC, she had her time. She had big pay-per-view matches and everything. It's time. Alexa Bliss is a 5-time champion. Sasha had her time 4 times equaling 1 month. Alexa Bliss has been a 5-time champion. Combined over a fucking year. That's right, I said 5 because later in the night, she got it again. I'll get to that in a fucking second. She started the night out as a 4-time. ended the night as a 5-time. But she deserves all this. Sasha, she had her time. The hypocrisy, the contradiction of wrestling fans sometimes boggles my mind. That's in the bad, man. Because I was not swerved by that at all. I was more fucking complexed. I was not just confused. I was more like put off by it. Because such a good match to end with that outcome. Again, I like Alexa. This isn't just one of those, oh, my superstar didn't win, so I'm upset. I was willing to... Other people than Sasha Banks, I would have been fine. Ember Moon! And I don't see her turning heel, so you give it to Ember and you would have to just have her as a face with the case. I don't like that, but I'll accept that. A big moment for Ember. There's so many. Naomi! Anybody but Alexa Bliss and Lana. Man, you couldn't have done better? Creative gets together. You had weeks, even months to prepare, and you could not have done better? That's in the bad, guys. There's no other way around that. Match number 5. Roman Reigns taking on Jinder Mahal. Roman Reigns, Jinder Mahal. First and foremost, ugly. We all can agree. The match was actually not even that bad. It was... The only reason that match would have been bad and perceived as bad was because Vince McMahon, creative, everybody in WWE, the fans, every one of us involved in this whole thing, we all knew that this was going to get shit on. So you have to stay away from like holds and, choke holds and fucking sleepers or arm bars or all that shit. Stay away from holds, make it fast paced. Try to captivate any attention you can from the Chicago crowd. It's going to be hard and difficult and probably not even possible, but try. Fast pace, keep it high octane, keep the match short. I even said a squash match in amplified booking. Instead, it's a long match and they do nothing but like chokes and holds and some, it was fucking, it's almost like Vince just didn't give a fuck. Like, go ahead with a normal plan. They'll come along. They'll eventually shut up and enjoy the match. No, they never did. Chicago shit on this motherfucker from the beginning, from the get-go, and that translates to the crowd at home. But if you're like me, and you've been watching this shit for over 30 years, you know that actually wasn't a bad match, but because they didn't switch things up, they didn't call any audibles, they didn't try to quicken up the pace. How can I not put that in the fucking ugly? You gotta call some audible. You didn't just lose the Chicago crowd. You fucking turned them off. And if this is any indication that this Roman Reigns thing is done, man, Vince McMahon tries again. He says, okay, we're going to show that we're not shoving Roman Reigns down anyone's throat. We're going to put him in the mid-card, and we're going to put him against Jinder Mahal. No championships, no nothing. This will really get Roman Reigns some sympathy and some fans and some cheers. No! Even in the mid-card, they're shitting on this guy. If this doesn't scream, just turn this motherfucker heel. And I was the first one to say a long time ago, you put him with the fucking authors of pain and you make a little stable of these motherfuckers. They just belong together. And the second after I said that, everybody started coming out and saying, oh, Roman and AOP, that is a good idea, BC. That's a damn good idea. They should do that. Yeah, they should. A stable. You want Roman Reigns to be over, Vince. You turn him heel and you go full throttle assassin style like Triple H was. Then people will come along, man. They're shitting on this guy even in the mid-card. At this point, I felt bad for Jinder Mahal. As much as people hated Mahal as champion in his matches, he never got shit on like this. At this point, if I show up to Raw, SmackDown, or a fucking pay-per-view, if I show up to a WWE event and I'm on the board and creative has me against Roman Reigns, I'm running away, man. I'm saying I came down with something, I'm injured, so I want off that card. It's like the plague if you have to face Roman Reigns right now. Honestly, if you're facing Roman Reigns, that is like the plague. It used to be that if you're fighting one of the superstars, the elite in the business, it's a good thing. You're getting all the attention. You're in that big-time match. You're in that big-time spot. But now with Roman, you want to run away. You want nothing to do with Roman Reigns. He is like a fucking disease right now. He's like a fucking STD. He is the plague. He's worse than fucking herpes. You want to run away from this motherfucker because the crowd is going to shit all over anything that has to do with Roman Reigns. That was sad to see last night. That was ugly to watch and see last night. Man, I felt bad for Jinder Mahal. If I'm Roman Reigns, I go right into fucking Vince McMahon's office and I start screaming, turn me fucking heel for my career. But not just mine anymore. Now we're affecting other superstars. Now other superstars are being shit on. So if somebody has momentum and they're in there with Reigns, there goes that momentum! I should put 7 uglies in this motherfucker. Just boom, 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 and boom! I'm being generous in putting that in the fucking ugly column. Match number 6 last night. Did I even put... Yeah, I gave the fucking Alexa thing a bad because I just had to. Like, Alexa winning that shit, fuck that, man. Roman and Mahal went to the ugly. Match number 6. Carmella defending her SmackDown Women's Championship against Asuka. This had the surprise element that I want at pay-per-views. I feel like pay-per-views no longer have a surprise return. Now, yes, this was fucking James Ellsworth, somebody we don't want to fucking see. But if he's coming back anyway, don't have him just show up at Raw or SmackDown for the fucking cable audience, man. If a special event pay-per-view is supposed to be special, have these motherfuckers return there. So at least this is a small step for WWE. Hopefully they continue this in the future, hopefully with bigger names, though, that we actually want to see. But have returns and surprise superstars come back on a pay-per-view. It's more special, and it means more when they interfere in the match. The end of this match, it looks like Asuka's going to take the strap, but it's James Ellsworth. He comes out in the robe and mask of Asuka. So Asuka's looking all fucking confused, like, is this another Asuka? It just didn't suit well with me, man, or sit well with me. It wasn't well suited, and it didn't sit well with me because she's looking all like weird and confused. I'm like, Asuka, come on. You speak a different language, but you're not dumb. It's obviously somebody dressed in your shit. What are you shocked of? What is shocking you? Forget that. Concentrate on Carmella. She's confused as fuck. Carmella's able to get like a fucking kick to her head, to kick to the fucking back of her dome piece, and that was it. 1, 2, 3. Carmella defeats Asuka. It reveals to be James Ellsworth under the mask. So Ellsworth helps Carmella. Reunited and it feels so good. That's right. Carmella and James Ellsworth reunited. It's cool to see for one night, right? You had the surprise of James Ellsworth, and it's like, whoa, hey, that was something, right? But are we going to want to see this every fucking week, starting this Tuesday on SmackDown? Every week again, Carmella and Ellsworth. It failed at the end of their last run for a reason. This is like a relationship. You ever go out with somebody and you break up, and then you go back out with them? That is my pet peeve, man. When people get back together with their ex. If it failed the first time and it didn't work, it ain't gonna work again! What the fuck? I cannot stand when people get back with their ex. It's like, you just were... What? You broke up! What? Getting back together for what? What is the... How much better do you think it can get if it wasn't right the first time? It was so bad, they fired James Ellsworth the first time. Now all of a sudden, it's almost like they just booked it for the immediate future. They're not thinking long term. Hey, it'll be cool if Ellsworth comes in and that's how we'll screw Asuka out. So Asuka does lose, but she kind of saves face. We'll do it via Ellsworth. But were they thinking long term? A lot of people are not going to want to see this. I'm not so sure I'm going to either, man. I'm not a huge fan of Ellsworth. It was good to at least see Ellsworth come back at a pay-per-view, though. At least get somewhat creative, right? So they at least did that last night. Asuka and Carmella did put on a decent match. Carmella held her own with Asuka last night. And again, because they at least got somewhat creative, even though I'm not totally on board with it, I'm not going to be a stick in the mud here. I'm going to give this a good. I know, Asuka lost. It's fucking Ellsworth. How can this go in the good, BC? For the reasons I just gave you. Carmella did hold her own against Asuka in that match, which I'm really proud of her. She's improving week by week. And again, it was a decent match at least. And again, they got creative at the end. It might not be the creative decision we wanted, but at least they got creative. They brought somebody back, a little bit of a surprise. And if Carmella was going to keep the strap anyway, at least they did it in a somewhat creative, somewhat fun way. I just don't know where they go from here. Do they keep Ellsworth with Carmella? And for Asuka, no wonder they had her lose at WrestleMania, man. It looks like she's just going to be a run-of-the-mill superstar now and losing matches like these. I'm okay with that. I just hope they know what to do with Asuka going forward because it does not look like Asuka is capturing that championship anytime soon. Hopefully I'm wrong. But I'm going to put that in the good because at least they tried. And at least for the moment, it was definitely entertaining, right? Because at least for the moment, it was kind of shock and awe. It was a surprise. Even though I told you guys on Amplified Booking, Ellsworth was showing up. So I kind of ruined that surprise for you guys. Spoiler. So we knew it, but it's always cool to see it actually happen. So anyway, that's in the good guys, Carmella and Asuka. Match number 7. This was AJ Styles versus Shinsuke Nakamura for AJ Styles' WWE Heavyweight Championship. This match, probably match of the night, I would say. This match was the match of the night, and that's saying something. Elias and Rollins was actually really good, and I did like that the women's Money in the Bank. Men's we'll get to too was not bad either, but Shinsuke, AJ Styles, that just stole the show for me. I could have watched them another 10, 15 minutes, man. I want to see them in an Iron Man match. Forget Last Man Standing. And just like I said on Amplified Booking video, this match was their best of them all. Not counting New Japan Pro Wrestling, because you can't compare the two. But their WWE matches, this was the best one. And I love how AJ Styles at one point in this match did a Styles clash on the steps, to the outside mat, man. That looked devastating as fuck. And obviously there was the table spot. At the end of this, I'll get right into the ending. I mean, I'm not going to go over every move. You had obviously the low blows, but what was really cool was when AJ Styles delivered a low blow kick to the midsection of Shinsuke. And this was right after Shinsuke was saying, "Come on." And AJ just said, "Fuck this." Boom. Kicks him right in the fucking how you doings. Gets in the ring. And Shinsuke is down on his fucking, he was down on his ass. He gets back to his feet. The referee was like helping him up. I don't know why the ref wasn't counting him down at that point. Instead, the referee is helping him up. So there's a little fucking logic flaw. But AJ Styles just looks at the crowd in Chicago and he just fucking leaps for that fucking phenomenal forearm. And he hit this motherfucker perfect. It was the perfect phenomenal forearm and it just happened to be an epic one. From inside the ring, onto the outside, leaps onto Shinsuke, hits the forearm. They both go crashing through I believe it was the English commentary booth with fucking whoever it was, Corey Graves and them. So I believe it was the middle broadcast booth, which was the English-speaking broadcast booth. It was fucking phenomenal, guys. They hit this thing, and all I'm thinking is if they're going through the table, I hope this thing breaks because that could be the end of the match. And you don't want it to end with the table not breaking, man. It just wouldn't look good visually speaking. Sure enough, they shatter this fucking table. Really, really fucking good to see that type of an ending because the storytelling spoke volumes more than the moveset. Where Shinsuke was saying, "Come on." And AJ Styles instead low blows Shinsuke. And then he gets in, and the look on AJ's face was like, what more do I have to do? Let's find out. And he does the phenomenal forearm. The table breaks, thankfully, and the referee counts to 10 on Shinsuke. AJ Styles wins the match and retains his championship. This looks like it's going to be the end. I don't see how you can give Shinsuke any more opportunities. Because we've seen everything they can do. I mean, I know I haven't. They can do more. What more do you do, though? a 60-minute Iron Man match, I think that's a good way to end this. It was a last man standing. AJ stood tall. Shinsuke has had multiple opportunities, and fair and square never beat AJ Styles. So I don't see how, if we're being realistic, how would he get another opportunity? He lost this one fair and square. AJ Styles now has to move on toward SummerSlam. And it starts with Extreme Rules. We have to start getting new competition for AJ. I don't know where you go with Shinsuke. It sucks that through all of this, it's good because I don't like flip-flop champions. So if Vince wanted to go with AJ Styles all along, I'm glad they didn't flip-flop it. But it also does suck that Shinsuke didn't get that championship at all. If you would have told me that at this point so far in their WWE careers that Asuka and Shinsuke would not have held a championship yet in WWE, I would have said you're clowning me, you're fooling, you're bullshitting me. But that's the truth. Asuka and Shinsuke, both at the Royal Rumble winners. Asuka won at the Royal Rumble, Shinsuke won at the Royal Rumble, and here we are, Money in the Bank. We're heading towards SummerSlam, and both failed to capture their championships, their respective championships. So that was that's pretty crazy. But the match again, the match was good, man. There's no way around that. So that's definitely going into the good column. So we have a full 5 tally now up in the good because that was absolutely good. And we'll see where their stories go here. I think their roads now, they're going to each take different roads now, but their stories might come back together in the future. I'll be okay with that. But for now, that's got to end. The 8th match they had was the WWE Monday Night Raw Women's Championship. This was Ronda Rousey, the challenger, versus Nia Jax, the champion. And Ronda fucking Rousey. I mean, how the fuck? Right off the bat, guys, this is going to be another good. Because Ronda Rousey, some would say, stole the show again last night. She stole it at WrestleMania, who would have thought? Now this is her first singles match, and again, in my eyes, she's stealing the fucking show again. Fucking Ronda Rousey, man. Everything you do, it's like Brock. Whether you love Brock or not, you think he defends a championship enough or not, I totally get. But when he does something or anything, you believe it. Because for Brock, it's real. It's still real to me, damn it. You know that fucking meme that they always have for pro wrestling? That's Brock. It's still real. Everything he does is fucking real, man. The emotions are there, you know? Pro wrestling must be hard for Brock Lesnar because it must be hard to pull back punches and not go full throttle because in his mind, he's going full throttle. Ronda's like that, man. Like, her selling is good last night, and I think it's going to get better. Her facial expressions were good. They're going to get better. But there's a sense of realism in her, and you can tell when she's doing her offense, man, she's all in. No pun intended, Cody Rhodes in Young Bucks. But she's all in, man, when she's got her moves on. I just love watching her in that ring. I said this from the beginning, but there was a lot of people that were skeptical. Oh, I don't know, Ronda Rousey. You know, she's coming in and they're going to throw her everything and she's not going to be deserving. She's going to suck. Not only does she not suck, she's already deserving of a championship in my mind. She is stealing fucking shows in that division. Think about that. There are females that have been doing this their whole life or at least have years of training that are nowhere near the skill level of Ronda Rousey already. So obviously that's going in the good. Nia Jax looked like a fucking the beast that they're trying to promote her as too. So just like in the Daniel Bryan and Big Cass match, I can't give all the credit to Daniel Bryan because Big Cass held his own. Same with last night. Ronda Rousey may have stole that show, especially stole the match. But Nia Jax was a big part of that. You know, Nia Jax, if not for her, maybe Ronda doesn't pull off a lot of that shit. The judo tosses that Ronda was doing to the beast Nia fucking Jax. 275 pounds, 272, whatever she is. Pretty fucking badass. There was times where Nia was throwing around fucking Ronda, and Ronda was throwing around Nia at times. And this thing ended with Ronda Rousey about to get Nia Jax into the armbar, and Alexa Bliss comes out of nowhere. I gotta admit, I was surprised. I was shocked, guys. Not expecting it last night. There was a part of me that said Ronda's not getting that championship last night. Because I told you guys, I never fucking steer you guys wrong. For days now, I've been saying, ever since Raw and SmackDown, I've been telling you guys, on Raw, they had Ronda Rousey tap out Nia Jax. And on SmackDown, they had Asuka tap out Carmella. And I told you guys after that, something doesn't seem right because Vince never has that. Even though Ronda technically won the match, she did not get the strap. And Asuka did not get the strap. And I knew that was going to happen. So if that was going to happen anyway, that's the best way you could have it. Have Alexa slip into the ring. And she starts beating Ronda Rousey with that briefcase. I mean, beating Ronda Rousey, just slinging that motherfucker. Now there's a time I'm thinking, okay, maybe they're just starting something with Alexa and Ronda. And they're going to keep the strap with Nia. That makes no sense, but okay. But it doesn't look like Alexa even cares about Nia Jax right now. She goes back to the outside and starts beating on Ronda even more. But then she turns her attention to Nia. She gets in the ring and she whacks Nia Jax right in her arm. And I mean fucking levels Nia Jax. She's just slinging that around like it's a fucking hula hoop. Just fucking slinging that motherfucker. Fucking briefcase, man. You hear these whacks into her arm. And hands it to the ref. And sure enough, I hear the bell. And that's when you know this motherfucker's official. You start to know it when JoJo announces Alexa's cashing in. And then you hear the bell and you're like, this thing's official. Alexa Bliss cashes the fuck in. About an hour, 2 hours after she wins the briefcase, retrieves the briefcase, she's cashing in. A DDT. We got Twisted Bliss, maybe? I forgot the ending exactly. I know there was a DDT, maybe Twisted Bliss. But the end result was 1, 2, 3 on Nia Jax. And new! In a successful cash-in, Alexa Bliss walks away with the Raw Women's Championship. She is a five-time Raw Women's Champion of this very world. Where do you put this? Ugly? Bad? Or good? I love the surprise element. She already won the briefcase. We can't go back in time and punish her or WWE's creative for that. It's already done. The show must go on. So, do we have her hold that briefcase for 10 fucking months like Carmella? That could get boring and stale as fuck after, I don't know, week number 1. And then what? After 10 months, she just cashes the fuck in and here we go with another Alexa reign after 10 months? So she's basically just holding that whole title picture maybe hostage? Or do we just get right to the fucking point? What was all this for? And they got right to the fucking point. Alexa Bliss cashed the fuck in. Guys, if it was going to be done anyway, I'm putting that into the good column. I know, you're shocked, right? But fuck it. It first and foremost entertained me. It shocked the shit out of me. I was surprised as hell. Entertained. And Alexa Bliss, we don't have to wait around for the story to evolve. She doesn't need that fucking briefcase. Get to the fucking point. They got right to the point. And if you're gonna make Ronda Rousey not get the strap, that's the way to fucking do it. It was a disqualification. Ronda Rousey wins the match, but Nia Jax saves face. It looks to me, guys, like they want Nia Jax to continue to be a face. So they didn't want her to just eat a pin by Ronda Rousey. So how do you have Ronda and Nia be a face after this is all said and done? You make the dastardly heel Alexa come in and cash in and spoil the fun for everybody. So it was well done in that aspect, so I'll give them props. Alexa Bliss was the tool used in keeping Nia and Ronda strong faces. But what does that do for Alexa Bliss? Now we're in the middle of an Alexa Bliss title reign. Does Ronda Rousey get that shit from Alexa Bliss? Or do we finally get to see Sasha and Alexa? Because we never got to solve that, did we, guys? Sasha never got her revenge on Alexa. Maybe that's the story. Maybe Sasha Banks goes over to SummerSlam, Brooklyn, and gets her championship. So I'm going to bite my tongue on this one, guys. I'm going to bide my time. I'm going to fucking relax. We ain't going to get over amplify. We're going to see where they go with this. Maybe Sasha gets her opportunity. Right? Deservingly so. Or maybe Vince sees a shitload of stock in Ember and they're going to fast track Ember Moon. Maybe Ember Moon takes it from Alexa. Sorry, Sasha. Maybe it's Ronda Rousey versus Alexa now. Is that believable and realistic for me? No. Because Ronda Rousey can take out Alexa Bliss in 0.5 seconds. So many questions. That's why we watch the shows, man. We'll get the answers maybe. I don't know if it's going to be what we're looking for. I don't even know if WWE has the answers. This whole thing is weird and strange to me, but in an odd way, entertaining. Shocking for me. So Alexa Bliss cashing in right away in that match. Again, entertaining and surprising to me. I liked it. It was good. We'll just have to see where they go from here. Spent way too much time on that one, guys. Let's go right into the main event, match number 9. This was the men's Money in the Bank ladder match. This was Braun Strowman, Kevin Owens, Bobby Roode, Balor. Who the fuck was in this thing? Miz, Joe, Rusev. Did I miss anybody? Kofi Kingston. Decent ladder match. I felt at times it could have been even better. But it was good. I just felt, I don't know, I expected a little bit more. There was one time where Braun Strowman was actually hiding under ladders. I say hiding, he was put there, but you're telling me Braun Strowman couldn't get out for 10 fucking minutes? Under a stack of ladders, there was one spot where Owens was up at the staging area, and Braun Strowman climbs the ladder. He takes Owens and he just chucks him from the top of the ladder, and this was a pretty tall fucking ladder, onto the, some staging equipment tables down below. Looked pretty fucking badass. There was some dives off ladders and all that, but nothing I haven't really seen before. I expected a lot more. But they put their bodies on the line. It was an entertaining match. I ain't gonna fucking bullshit you. It was a good match. I'm running out of room in the good here, guys. That was actually good, though. So I will give them that. The ending of this match, I'm perplexed as fuck. More perplexed than even Alexa Bliss winning. They have Braun Strowman win this whole fucking match. Braun Strowman climbs the ladder and retrieves his lunchbox. Because that's all that is. A guy of his fucking size, that briefcase looks like a lunchbox. And it looks like his mommy just put his little sandwich and his little juice box in there. Closed that son of a bitch up and said, "Here, Brawny, here's your lunchbox. Have a good day in 2nd grade today, son." Braun Strowman retrieves his lunchbox. The one guy, why this is going into the bad column, is because the one guy that did not need that briefcase in that match, the one guy, was Braun Strowman. Why? BC, I like Braun too. I love the fact that they're building him up to be a monster. I could have came up with 100 different ways to make him look like a beast and a monster in this match, but still not win this thing. The one guy who walks away with a briefcase that doesn't need it. Forget the fact that his character, he's a monster, doesn't look good with it. It doesn't look right on him, and he doesn't need it. The character does not need it. He's a monster. The fact that Braun Strowman can beat anybody at any time in a snap of a finger screams he doesn't need a briefcase. Braun Strowman is a legit champion in his own right. Braun doesn't even need a championship to be built as a monster, let alone a fucking briefcase. Guys like Finn Balor, and then you turn that motherfucker heel even, maybe that would have been epic. Samoa Joe, he just belongs with that briefcase and vice versa. Kevin Owens, the fun you could have with Kevin Owens in that briefcase. I don't know. I don't know what they were thinking with that one, guys. I really... Bobby Roode. You could have made, maybe a lot of people would say made Bobby Roode win that briefcase, then turn heel maybe even. Braun Strowman doesn't need it. Tonight I should say, on Monday Night Raw. If Braun did not win that match last night, tonight on Raw, you could have made Braun, once again, because he still would have been, he never really left it, the legitimate beast of Raw. He would have lost nothing from not retrieving that briefcase last night. The other 7 participants in that match had the most to gain. Braun had nothing to lose, and they make him win. If it seems like I'm harping on this, it's because I am. I don't understand why they would put a briefcase on Braun. Braun doesn't need that. Now Braun shows up at the end of somebody's match and just cashes in. Like he needs to like sneak into a match. Braun Strowman needs to do this fucking heel type victory. I understand when Braun cashes in, it'll be a huge eruption, right? A huge pop. But what does that do for him? Braun winning the championship anyway would have gotten a huge pop. Man, the briefcase. I don't expect him to hold that long, guys. He doesn't... I don't want to see my monster, the Beast of Raw, coming down to the ring holding his briefcase. It's fucking silly as fuck for that type of character. He's the one guy who could not win that match, man. Don't let Braun win that. The whole thing is goofy to me. If you guys liked it, awesome. Let me just say that, man. Different strokes for different folks. That's awesome. My reasoning is totally different, man. I know how I want to view my monster. I know how I want to view my monster winning the championship. It's not in a cash-in format for a guy of that stature, for a character of that magnitude. I just don't see what it does for him. The Money in the Bank is, guys like... Guys, I'm going to shut up about it. Did I already put that in the bad? I should give it another fucking bad, but I'm not going to. What else am I fucking missing here, guys? I think that's everything. We fade to black. We go off the air with Braun Strowman. What am I going, an hour in this video? I'm starting to lose my fucking mind here. We go off the air with Braun Strowman holding up his briefcase, his lunchbox. That's it. So, just mind-boggling to me. I don't see him holding it. I mean, what's he going to do? I don't see him holding it long, nor should he. So the only thing to do here is show up to Brock Lesnar's house, because Brock Lesnar doesn't show up to any fucking events. He's got to show up to Brock Lesnar's fucking ranch and cash in. He's got to carry a referee to Brock Lesnar's home and do a cash in. Because Brock Lesnar isn't leaving his house. Anyway, that was Money in the Bank, guys. So, let's do it. Let's tally, man. Let's see if this pay-per-view was good, bad, or ugly. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 in the good. Boom. Only 3 bads, man. That's a 3. That's a 3, trust me. 1 ugly. That counts as 2 fucking bads. So, that's actually going to be 5 in the bads. 8 and 5, guys. Your total is 8 good. 5 bad. That is a 5. Why does that not look like a... What am I fucking doing? That is a 5. That's a 5. 8 and 5. So it's a good pay-per-view. Right? By a deciding number, too, man. This wasn't just skimming by. This ends up being a good pay-per-view. I think this tally serves the pay-per-view justice. From a fan's perspective... on the outs, just watching it for purely entertainment and wrestling, and not trying to put in all the creative decisions, the booking decisions, the poor bullshit writing. Putting all that aside, just viewing what I viewed, I felt like it was a good pay-per-view. This backs up what I originally thought. So it ends up being a good pay-per-view in my tallies, guys. Tesla, the fact tracker, has it at 8 to 5. How do you guys have it? Did you enjoy it? Did you like it? Did you think it was good, bad, or did you fucking think this thing was ugly? And if so, why do you feel such, man? Honestly, if you break it down, you might come up with something different. Who knows? That's why I love breaking this down in front of you guys, man. Because even though I might feel one way, unless I go through match by match and really talk about it, I don't really know how the pay-per-view really stood out. So this one ends up being 8 to 5, pretty deciding, right? But those 5 loom pretty large. Those are problems that WWE does have to fix going forward. But 8 good to 5 bads, I'll take that shit. Money in the Bank. A damn good and, more importantly, entertaining pay-per-view last night. We look forward to see what's in store for Extreme Rules next month. And then, of course, SummerSlam in 2 months. Money in the Bank kicks off SummerSlam season, and it kicked off with a fucking bang. Alexa Bliss owned the fucking night. This was an epic night for Alexa Bliss. Whether we loved it or we hated it, she shocked the wrestling world and brought that son of a bitch to its fucking core. Before I take off, guys, I do want to say, if you have not caught the WWE 24 special on the Hardys, a documentary on the WWE Network, it aired last night after Money in the Bank, and I had goosebumps the entire time. That documentary on the Hardy Boys is jaw-dropping, guys. It was absolutely captivating to the point of no end. Go back. If you watched it already, watch it again, because I know I'm gonna. And if you have not watched it, make sure you catch it. It's called The Hardys. It's a 24 special documentary on the network, and it goes through everything, guys. They hold nothing back. They go through all the problems that Jeff and Matt have had in their careers and personal life. They go inside that Sting match, that Jeff Hardy, the infamous Sting match in TNA. They actually have a lot of TNA footage. Wow, I couldn't believe they held nothing back. Even what Eric Bischoff told Sting and told Jeff Hardy in the ring during Sting and Hardy's match in TNA, they actually have it in captions. So you hear every word of what Bischoff is telling Hardy and Sting. And I was floored, man. I couldn't believe that WWE actually put that on their documentary. The whole thing is just captivating. So I did just want to plug that. I'm not getting paid by WWE to plug that, but you will not regret the hour watching that documentary. It's the best 24 special that I've seen on the WWE Network. So I did want to plug that. That's it, guys. Lots of coffee and ass whippings now. The Amplified man's cashing the fuck out. Money in the Bank 2018. It's in the books. We go on now to Extreme fucking Rules. I'll see you guys tomorrow for Monday Night Raw's review and reaction. Amplified man, and I'm out. Check you.